Hi, beautiful people. It's Wonderful Wednesday. I'm April Roll, your ER doctor online, and today's video is about UV Awareness Month for this month of July 2023. So, if you didn't know, the sun with all its glory is a very beautiful thing, especially during this summertime while everybody's getting out. They are enjoying the beautiful weather. They are, getting out to the beach, hanging out with friends. The sun provides us with amazing things like light so that we can see. It provides light for our beautiful plants in our garden to thrive. It provides a way that our body can actually convert vitamin D to an active usable form that our bodies can use, and it provides warmth. But it also, in addition to its beautiful rays of light, it emits UV rays, okay? And if you didn't know, UV rays, the more exposure that you have to them, meaning the more that you're out in the sun unprotected, the higher your chance of and the higher your risk of developing skin cancer from being exposed to all this UV rays, right? So in this video, I want to do two things. First of all, I want to give you some tips in order to protect yourself against UV rays. And I want to kind of break down or explain to you some more information about the UV rays. So before I actually give you the tips, let me explain a couple things about UV rays. So, like I said, they come down from the sun, and they're stronger during certain periods of time of day. So between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. generally here in Florida Eastern Standard Time, the rays are going to be stronger during that time. So if you're outside during the 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. time window, the UV ray strength is going to be stronger, okay? And that means basically the exposure is going to be more. So the risk of, developing skin cancer from more exposure is going to be more during those times. The other thing is that things like if you're closer to the equator, you'll have higher exposure to UV rays. Also, in terms of altitude, if you're at a higher elevation, you're going to, just by logic, you're closer to the sun if you're at a higher elevation. If you're on a mountain, right, you're closer to the sun. If you're in a valley or somewhere with very low elevation, you're going to be much farther away. So obviously, just like the closer you get to a burner on the stove or closer you get to an oven, you feel that heat. It's the same kind of idea. The higher you are in elevation, the closer you are to the sun. So the higher your exposure to the UV rays, because more UV rays are going to make it to you, and they're going to make it to you quicker. Some other things in terms of reflection off surfaces. So if you're thinking of rays coming down from the sun to the ground, some surfaces actually reflect the UV rays, just like if, we're not going to get into physics and all of that, but certain things like pavement, like sand, snow, water, they can actually reflect the UV rays back up. So not only would you be getting rays onto your body, but some rays that may have not actually gotten to you may be bouncing off of a surface and then hitting you again, right? So that's going to increase your exposure if you're near reflective surfaces. The other thing to think about is how many clouds are out are going to affect the UV's exposure and ability to get down to the ground. However, don't be fooled. Even if it's a cloudy day and you don't even see the sun outside, there are still UV rays making it down to your body and to the ground. So you still want to protect yourself. So this is where I'm going to go into the tips that you can use to protect yourself against the UV rays. So I'm going to use some recommendations from the American Academy of Dermatology Association as well as the American Cancer Society. So the first things first is seek shades, and a lot of these start with S. So S for sun, S for these catchphrases and lists for sun protection. Okay, so just think sun, it starts with S. Sun protection also starts with S. So the first thing you can do is get out of the sun, seek shade. Boom, right there, you've already decreased the number of UV rays that you're exposed to. But the American Cancer Society has a little catchphrase that you kind of can think of to remember, and it's slip, slop, slap, and wrap. Okay, so what exactly does this mean? Slip on a shirt or any other type of sun protective clothing, and that's going to, again, provide another barrier to block against those UV rays. Slop on some sunscreen, okay? Put on that sunscreen, put it all over, okay? And about the sunscreen, make sure your sunscreen is broad spectrum, water resistant, and an SPF of 30 or higher. Now, for broad spectrum, what do I mean? There are UVA rays, UVB rays, and you want to make sure that your sunscreen says that it protects against both of those, being broad spectrum. If you're going to be out in the pool, out in the ocean, right, out doing any kind of water sports, you want to make sure that you're using a sunscreen that is water resistant. And again, read the label. What does it say? SPF 30 or higher. You want to make sure you are using a strong enough SPF to protect your skin. And another thing, I'm guilty of this, but I know a lot of people are guilty of this too. You don't want to just go out and then, slather on all your sunscreen and you're like, I'm good for the day, let's go. I'm going to lay out on the beach, or I'm going to do, whatever, go go to the beach, get in the water, get in the pool. You need to follow the instructions, because it may say something like reapply every 2 hours. Okay, and some people miss this part. If you're applying the sunscreen, great, you're good for those 2 hours or whatever the bottle says, right? But if you are not reapplying, and let's say you're out there for 8 hours, you were only protected for, say, the 2 hours or whatever it said on the bottle. You got to reapply that, because the effect is diminished over time, and then you have to put more sunscreen on your body. Okay, so we're up to the next. The third of the catchphrases. Slap on a hat. That's what they want you to do. Slap on a hat. Make sure that you have a hat with a good brim, okay? Because that perimeter is, again, it's going to provide you shade depending on how wide it is. You're going to be protecting your face. You're going to be protecting partially some of your shoulders. And that is going to just add another layer of protection on top of your sunscreen, on top of your sun protective clothing. And then wrap on some sunglasses. So that is going to protect your eyes from the UV rays, because you can get damage to your eyes. Severity of UV ray exposure, can lead to blindness, but we're not talking about from the sun. We're just talking about UV rays in general. But over time, you do want to decrease the cumulative exposure to the UV rays. So put on those sunglasses, and the tint doesn't matter. You can have, tint black as day covering your eyes, but there's a specific chemical that is applied to sunglasses that, it'll say on the sunglasses protects against UVA, UVB rays. Not all sunglasses are going to protect you. Obviously, something over your eyes is good, but if the sunglasses do not say that they actually block against UV rays, then it's not helping you in terms of your eyes. So that is that. So let me just make sure the sunglasses to protect your eyes, and I said about the UV ray. So those are the multiple layers of protection you can provide to yourself. Seeking shades, wearing protective clothing, whether it be a hat, whether it be sunglasses, whether it be shirts, pants, obviously, right? Putting on the sunscreen, reapplying the sunscreen, making sure the sunscreen is SPF 30 or higher, and you'll be good to go. Because like I said, summertime is great. I mean, it's been very, very hot. The temperature's been crazy out here. But as long as you are protecting your skin, protecting your body, protecting your eyes, everything against these UV rays, you're gonna be good to go, okay, for this summertime fun. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but sun just makes me feel lighter, happier. It's so great. Well, you gotta always remember to protect yourself while you're having fun, and that goes for a lot of categories, okay? All categories. So I hope you learned something in this video. If you like this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to my YouTube channel, share this video with a friend so that they can know as much information as they need about UV rays and protecting their skin from the sun's UV rays, which in turn, like I said, is going to decrease the chances of developing certain skin cancers. If you have any questions, put those in the comment section below. If you have any topics for future Wonderful Wednesdays, put that in the comment section below. But again, thank you for sharing this wonderful Wednesday with me. Be blessed and stay healthy.